1 tháng 10 2022 sau 1 giờ thì cộng đồng bạn và cộng đồng Việt Nam đã đi đến tổng lãnh sự của tàu Cộng ở San Francisco. Cái địa chỉ là 1450 Laguna Street. Đến đây để biểu tình phản đối sự bành trướng của tàu Cộng tham lam và cướp đất của các nước và không có quyền tự do dân chủ cho trong nước của họ. Thì đồng thời họ đem cái đó ra ở hải ngoại các nước họ muốn là thống lãnh luôn cho độc tài. Và các người đến đây là những quốc gia cộng đồng bạn đã bị ảnh hưởng trực tiếp đến là vấn đề tàu Cộng, cái chủ nghĩa cộng sản của tàu Cộng.
There also some kind of surveillance from China. They also here. Yeah. No, we cannot escape, but we have to say something. For example, I am an engineer. I work from China. I'm on the network and telecom. When I'm here, I also be an engineer. I know the Huawei. The first top one is the Huawei. We should notice that company. Huawei is on the technology is on top level, and one more is Dahua. Dahua for surveillance, video surveillance is also the top one. And another most of AI use of AI to recognize on OpenCV algorithm. We use it on the Twitter, on all the social network. We be catched. In China, there is some kind of Weibo or WeChat. They also catch up all the information. So even we are in the USA, the free land, but also there is so many big creatures. Our family in the inland of China, we got threatened by them. So I pray for that I be a free land, but I also worry about and I try to hold on all the people. We do notice that the digital camera and the digital prism, there is no endless. Even we can hold down the government, even we can change the plan, change to another, maybe it's prepared more better. So that we should do something more and more. Technology should be used for peace, should for happiness, and should for all the people prosperity, not for the digital prison. So that I will be an engineer and think about that. And I feel like more and more here is the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. More and more technician guy use their talent to break down the digital wall, to give us a freedom. And the freedom is that we can pursue by ourselves. We should do everything. I think it's 3 million. That's all that I think about it. We should do something. Thank you for everyone. All right, so that's Li Shengshan from the Chinese Democratic Education Foundation. So guys, before we go for the next speaker, we're just going to practice the slogan. And then we'll do it. We're going to circle around and do the flag waving as we speak the slogan. So everybody form one single line fronting the building, and we're going to start to circle around. So everybody, right, let's step back, form a single line with your flags, and we will start the flag waving. Everybody, if you can, if not, just stay here. All right?
It's murder.
Even when you buy camera on your system, for your family use,
Cộng sản ơi, thấy đâu? Cầm vô đây nhìn đi, vô đây nhận hàng. Người ta nói nè, thấy cờ báo còn tụi đất con trẻ.
Sức chữ cần đó mình bắt theo với người ta cái nói chuyện đây là chủ trương nó là ở ôm sờ mắng người ta không nghe được thứ thế này. Chúng ta phải cộng đồng của mình không?
Boycott Chinese group. Boycott China. Boycott China. Boycott China. Boycott China. Boycott China. Boycott China.
All right, we'll start the slogan now, but formally we will open up the program for today. And what is the date today? October 1st. October 1st is the founding of the People's Republic of China, proclaimed by the Chairman Mao Zedong, the chairman of the Communist Party. On October 1st, 1949 at 3 o'clock p.m. in Tiananmen Square in Beijing. On April 10, 1974, speaking at a special session of the UN General Assembly, Deng Xiaoping, who actually took over by then, underscored China's anti-imperialist, anti-hegemonic, and anti-expansionist stance, and he said, and listen, China will never change her color and will always stand by the oppressed peoples and oppressed nations. Do you believe in China? No! Do you believe in China? No! Okay, we're gonna, from the circle now, wave our flags as we start the slogan. So guys, form a circle, we're gonna slogan. Okay? Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Stop the occupation! Stop the genocide! 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 And when I mention the place, just answer stop out China out now. Vietnam! China out now! Vietnam! China out now! Vietnam! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Brunei! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Indonesia! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Indonesia! China out now! Taiwan! China out now! Taiwan! China out now! Japan! China out now! Japan! China out now! Japan! China out now! Can we have the second speaker now? So yeah. Hong Kong! China out now! Hong Kong! Hong Kong! Stop the occupation!
Stop the genocide!
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 Stop the occupation! Stop the genocide! China lie, people die! China lie, people die! China lie, people die! China lie, people die! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP!
So next up for the speaker, I would like to invite Bob Freeman from Far East Freedom Young League.
Hello everyone, this is Bob from Far East Freedom Youth League. Today I'm here to stand with the freedom-loving people all around the world and fight against the evil China Empire. 73 years ago, the communists established their bloody regime. This regime is a representative of the traditional Chinese authoritarianism and the communist totalitarianism. With atrocity, this regime has become committing for over 70 years. They are threatening the whole world. So today we are here with freedom-loving people around the world to fight against the evil China Empire and to fight for the freedom of all the nations occupied by China. That's freedom! 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 Fight for freedom! Freedom! Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bob.
Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! What do we want? Freedom! What do we want? Freedom! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free China! Free China! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Stop the occupation!
occupation. Stop the genocide. Stop the 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 occupation. Stop the genocide. All right. The third speaker representing North Cal Hong Kong Club. May we call on Ken. A big hand for Ken. Hello, Ken. Okay. Thank you all for showing up today. It is a tough task for me to follow these powerful speeches. I will keep it short. It will start with a poem or a few short sentences. They can go this way. We are all losing this fight. So, don't tell us that we can choose our destiny. Because the reality is, whatever we do have no impact on the outcome. And we don't trust anyone who says we need to demand democracy and freedom in our homeland because we don't have a choice. Is that so? Let's go the other way. Because we don't have a choice. We need to demand democracy and freedom in our homeland. And we don't trust anyone who says whatever we do have no impact on the outcome. Because the reality is we can choose our destiny. So don't tell us that we are all losing this fight. Yes, we don't have a choice. When a 90-year-old cardinal go on trial for associating with a humanitarian fund, we don't have a choice. When free speech therapists are sentenced to 18 months imprisonment for children's illustrated books, we don't have a choice. When 47 activists were arrested and detained for over a year because they participated in an unofficial primary election. We don't have a choice when the civil society built up over the decades in Hong Kong is dismantled. We don't have a choice when rule of law in Hong Kong become rule by law. So don't tell us that we are all losing this fight. Thank you. So I would like to say you guys one of my favorite quote, okay? If you think you are too small to make a change, try living in a room with a mosquito. Right. Let's say some slogan before next. Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Vietnam! No, you say China out now. Vietnam! China out now! Vietnam! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Indonesia! China out now! Indonesia! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Brunei! China out now! Brunei! China out now! Hong Kong! China out now! Hong Kong! China out now! Japan! China out now! Japan! China out now! Senkaku Islands! China out now! Natuna Islands! China out now! China out now. Philippines. China out now. Philippines. China out now. Taiwan. China out now. Brunei. China out now. Malaysia. China out now. Hong Kong. Hong Kong. China out now. Malaysia. China out now. Malaysia. China out now. Stop the occupation. Stop the genocide. 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 So, okay. Next up, I would like to invite Jeff from the Vietnamese community to have some words. Hello, Taiwan. Hello, Philippines. Hello, Mongolia. Hello, Europe. Hello, Tibet. Talk about Tibet. I don't need to have the good knowledge in the history to tell that for centuries peaceful life in Tibet, the communist China come over and occupy that country and change the way, destroy the religions, and Dalai Lama has to go exile. That is, and day by day, I can see on the news and the paper, they harass, they attack the nuns and the civilians in the country. That is a terrible story. But beside that, talk about Uyghurs. Talk about Uyghurs. Since the Chinese communists attacked the Uyghurs in, I believe, 1960 or so, they put people in detention camps. And how many detention camps in the country? I talk about 400. Believe it or not. And people have the labor
Năm 5,2 triệu đảng viên không thể đàn áp nổi 10
and talk about my own country, Vietnam. You see, Vietnam is under control by the communists also. And you see, the little communists and the big communists in the wrong. But because of the you see 1979, do not attack the South. Because many women and now in the occupying the ocean. 90% of the ocean in the Southeast Asia. But they attack the fishermen, kidnap for ransom, the same with Philippines also. So I think with the we will not accept that behavior. We're here today to condemn them. And as long as the communist China remains there, the world will suffer. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff. China lie, people die. 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 Now it is CCP! Down with the 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 CCP! What do we want? Freedom! What do we want? Freedom! What do we want? Freedom! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free Taiwan! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Stop occupation! Stop the genocide! 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 Vietnam! Get out! Oh, say China out now. Okay. Vietnam! China out now! Vietnam! China out now! Brunei! China out now! Brunei! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Indonesia! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Japan! China out now! Japan! Senkaku Islands! China out now! Senkaku Islands! China out now! Paracells! China out now! Natuna Islands! China out now! Scarborough Shoal! China out now! Scarborough Shoal! China out now! Alright! May we call on the next speaker from the US? Oh, sorry. From the San Francisco Regional Tibetan Youth Congress, Indeed has had a successful, strong presence in Raleigh this morning. Let's give a huge presence for the son, Jaman.
Thank you everyone for coming, especially in some of the places this morning I saw this. And I'll be reading out the statement from CYC. On the 75th anniversary of People's Republic of China, Tibetan Youth Congress, regional chapters all around the world are marking the date by resisting China for its illegal occupation of Tibet and oppressing it for the last 6 decades. Tibetans continue to face intense surveillance in their daily lives with security cameras, police checkpoints, and party officials monitoring their movement and activities. Arbitrary arrests and detentions are noticeably the common practice carried out by the Chinese authorities in the recent months and years, particularly targeting the teachers, the writers, the intellectuals who emphasize preserving Tibetan culture and identity, which continues to be assimilated by the Chinese government. Nearly 1 million Tibetan children has been forcefully taken away from their parents, forcing them to live in a colonial boarding school and cutting them off from their families, language, and religion. Chinese government lodged themselves in specially established schools of Chinese Communist Party, where they have no access to Tibetan culture-related curriculums and are primarily aimed at eliminating and wiping out the Tibetan culture and its identity. Chinese authorities continue to tighten their control over Tibetans through various monitoring mediums. Reports are coming out from Tibet that the Chinese authorities are conducting a mass DNA collection drive without the consent of Tibetans. The government clearly indicates the tightening of technological surveillance upon the Tibetans. The CCP has implemented a biosecurity as an agency to control the population, specifically those in occupied regions of Tibet, East Turkestan, and southern Mongolia being targeted. Since the COVID outbreak in Tibet, the COVID cases continue to rise, and many Tibetans are coming out in social media and airing their frustration against the Chinese government for failing to provide healthcare facilities and educate male people detained under the guise of COVID prevention. Both infected and uninfected people are quarantined in the same place, with no regular testing, and all are quarantined until the healthy becomes one infected. As the authorities lock down in Lhasa, closing its second month, Tibetans are facing growing hardship by the scarce supplies of essential commodities and ill treatments of the authorities. Many Tibetans have reportedly been detained for merely sharing the COVID-related photos and videos online amid the harsh implementation of Chinese government zero COVID policy. Reports are coming out that Chinese zero COVID policies pushed the 5 Tibetans to commit suicide in 3 days. Therefore, on this founding anniversary of People's Republic of China, we demand the Chinese government stop its hardline policies in Tibet and put an end to its arbitrary arrest and detentions of Tibetans with baseless accusations. We also demand the Chinese Communist government stop its systematic mass collection of DNAs from the Tibetans to strengthen their surveillance capabilities and subject Tibetans to pervasive repression. We call on the Chinese government to immediately address the grievances of Tibetans who continue to suffer under the Chinese repression and oppression amidst the COVID outbreak in Tibet. Tibetan Youth Congress condemned the CCP's repressive rule in Tibet, and we reaffirm our commitment to resist China and raise our voice for the voiceless Tibetans who continue to suffer under the inhuman treatments of Chinese government. We are committed to continuing our resisting political campaign against. We are committed to continuing our resisting political campaign activities until the rightful independence of Tibet is restored. Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Vietnam! Free Vietnam! Free Taiwanese! Free China! Free China! We want! We want! We want! Shame on! Shame on! Shame on! Thank you.
Free Tibet! 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 Stop the occupation! Stop the genocide! 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 All right. So the next speakers will be our lawyer and human rights activist from the U.S. Pinoys for Good Governance. And just as a prelude, back in July 2016, the Philippines actually won the Hague ruling declaring the 9-dash line historical and without basis. Yes. That being said, we demand that China get out of the territory she's not supposed to be there. We demand that China respect the international law, and any areas or islands that she's not supposed to be, she should be out. So when I say the islands in the place, response would be China out now. Sensaku Islands, China out now. Sensaku Islands, China out now. Paracels, China out now. Paracels, China out now. Vietnam, China out now. Vietnam, China out now. Brunei, China out now. Brunei, China out now. Natuna Islands, China out now. Natuna Islands, China out now. West Philippine Sea, China out now. West Philippine Sea, China out now. West Philippine Sea, China out now. May we call on Attorney Rodel Rodriguez. Let's give a big hand for him. Big hand for Rodel.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, my name is Robert Rodriguez. I'm president of the U.S. Pinoys for Good Governance. Since July of 2011, our organization has been holding our protest in front of this consulate in July of every year. We have also organized back in 2011 pickets in front of all the Chinese consulates in the U.S. and at the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. We also asked all our compatriots in other parts of the world to go in front of their embassies, Chinese embassies, to protest China's invasion of the West Philippine Sea. In 2011, soon after Xi Jinping became the premier of China, he started a very aggressive posture of sending his boats, his naval force all over the South China Sea, because he claimed that all of the South China Sea belongs to China because the name China is in the South China Sea, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that was the basis upon which in 2012 he had 200 Chinese ships around the Scarborough Shoal, which is only a short distance from Zambales, which is where the Subic naval base of the U.S. was before the U.S. left. Now, in 2012, they occupied, and they still presently occupy, what is called the Scarborough Shoal and other shoals in the West Philippine Sea. So we protested, and we were able to get the Philippine government to file an action in the United Nations, which President Noynoy Aquino did. And in 2016, we won a historic arbitral ruling against China that proclaimed the 9-dash line as being fiction, bogus, and that the West Philippine Sea belongs to the Philippines. But China supported Duterte, and he became president in 2016, and he announced that the arbitral ruling of the UN was just a scrap of paper that he could throw in the garbage can. That's why China was very, very happy that they had a puppet as president of the Philippines who would bend its rule. Duterte's chief financial supporter, a crony named Dennis Uy, he's a billionaire, but all his businesses are financed by China, and he is the main supporter of China Telecom. They were able to set up all the telecommunications posts in all the Philippine military bases all over the U.S. And 3 years ago, this guy Uy was able to secure the control of the Malampaya gas fields, which is owned by the Philippines, and Duterte gave it to his crony, giving him $1 million a day in profit. But it's more than that he made Uy the controller of the oil fields in Palawan in the West Philippine Sea, and that controls all the other gas fields that will be discovered there. And we have filed actions in the Philippines and in the U.S. to stop Chevron from fully transferring all of its interest to Uy, because Uy is the face of China in the Philippines. So they're not just sending troops and sending their naval bases to control the islands and the areas in the West Philippine Sea. They've also, through Duterte, taken over the gas fields of the Philippines inside the Philippines. So we are absolutely opposed, and the economy of the Philippines, especially with gas prices going up, is now in the hands of China, and we want to make sure that the Philippines gets back its Malampaya oil fields and gets China out and stops China from further controlling all the energy, not only in the Philippines, but in the entire South China Sea and all of the countries that are in in that area that are subject to Chinese subjugation. So we join all of you in Tibet, the Uyghurs, in Vietnam, in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, and every place else that China has invaded or has exercised its dominion and control, to get the hell out and free all of these countries, free us from Chinese rule. Thank you.
Oh, my turn. Go ahead.
Okay. As Rodel was saying, the Hague ruling the arbitral award back in 2016, it is very crucial that we uphold the law. Because where it is right now, China is claiming 90% of all the territories of South China Sea, claiming as if it is theirs. It is crucial that we uphold the law, so that when I say again the name or the islands, response would be China out now. Natuna Islands! China out now! Natuna Islands! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Philippines! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Indonesia! China out now! Indonesia! China out now! Brunei! China out now! Brunei! China out now! Malaysia! China out now! Vietnam! China out now! Vietnam! China out now! Taiwan! China out now! Taiwan! Japan! Japan! China out now! Stop the occupation! Stop the genocide! Stop the occupation! Stop the genocide! Stop the occupation! Stop the genocide! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! What do we want?
We want justice.
What do we want? When do we want it? When do we want it? Down with the CCP! Down! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! China lie, people die! 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 China lie, people die!
So next up for the speaker list, I would like to invite Logan from the U.S. Hong Kongers Club. A big one for Logan. Logan. Yeah, we give a hand to Logan, please.
So the next speech I'm going to use English, Cantonese, and I'm afraid right here to use Mandarin to translate it. Ever since the China Communist Party has formed, it has done countless bad things to the people living there and the whole world. The latest one was China Wuhan virus. China planned the virus outbreak in Wuhan, then secretly spread the virus around the world. By letting the infected people to travel. By now, they are still not admitting they are behind the whole plan. Everyone, this is considered a biochemical attack. Look at what that virus has damaged our world and our lives. Many businesses have shut down. Many people lost their jobs. And now the whole world is facing serious inflation. And soon an economic recession will happen. As a U.S. citizen of me, I urge the U.S. government and all the countries around the world to seek compensation from China. That's number one. Number two, Communist Party is the evil that causes all the crisis here. Someone needs to take them down and take them out. My best wish is always to stop China now and send all the communists to hell. Thank you. Right now I'm going to use a Cantonese。我會用廣東話講一次。自從中國共產黨成立咗之後，佢哋做咗好多傷天害理嘅事情。最近一次就係中國嘅武漢肺炎。首先喺中國武漢爆發病毒，然之後又將受感染嘅人無聲無息咁樣送出去全世界。到而家中國仲唔肯承認責任。大家呢個係滅絕人性嘅生化襲擊。諗一諗呢次襲擊對全世界造成幾大嘅影響，好多商業倒閉，好多人因此失去工作。全世界亦都因為咁樣通貨膨脹，好快就會演變為經濟衰退。作為一個美國公民，我促請美國政府同埋全世界向中國要求賠償，呢個係第一樣嘢。第二樣，中國共產黨係破壞世界秩序嘅惡魔，人人得而誅之。我嘅願望係中國解體，中共死光。而家我有一位朋友咧係會用國語嚟到講翻嘅。 自從中國共產黨成立之後，他們做了很多傷天害理的事情。最近一次是中國武漢肺炎，首先中國與武漢爆發病毒，然後又將受感染的病人不動聲色地輸出海外。到現時，中國還不肯承擔任何責任。各位，這個是滅絕人性的生化襲擊。大家想想，這次襲擊對我們及全世界造成了多大的影響呀！